It's bank holiday weekend and I am home alone for a few days. Dog sitting, I've got lots of dogs here and cats, but it's just me. So I'm making myself a very light, making the most of the fact that I can just not eat as much. So I'm making a very light supper. This will be, the recipe I do for it will be for 6 people as a starter. And it started because I looked in the freezer and to see what I had. And I had a couple of mackerel fillets, but we're going to start, it's going to be mackerel fillet grilled with a cucumber and ginger pickle. So something really simple. Right, cucumber. I've been at it again with my truffle slice. Absolutely wonderful for cutting cucumber. If you haven't got a truffle slice, most of you have got a box grater. On the side, you've got this slit one, and you can use that for grating cucumber. Sometimes if it's a really big cucumber, you have to trim the edges, but that will also give you a good size slice. I'm using thinly sliced spring onion also. Obviously, I'm not going to be making as much as I do on my recipe, but we'll put some spring onion. I've spread it out in a bowl and I am going to give it a couple of generous pinches of salt and toss it around. And I'm going to leave that now for 15 minutes. This recipe is really going to be the most marvellous assembly job. It takes 4 minutes to cook, and that's for the fish. So the cucumber is pickling. I've been messing around this afternoon with nice flavours for my quick pickle. One of my favourite vinegars to use is a white balsamic. If you can't get white balsamic, you can use rice vinegar and put some sugar in it. But I'm going to use, because it is, again, it's just me, I'm going to use 2 teaspoons. I think 2 teaspoons of white balsamic. I'm going to use some rapeseed oil, a tablespoon. I love white pepper because it gives it a little bit of heat. I'm going to put that in. And I've got my very little whisk, the smallest whisk. So I'm going to just whisk that up. After that's had 15 minutes, I'm going to pour that over along with sushi ginger. That's pickled ginger, and you can just sort of roughly chop that. This is one of those ingredients that I keep in the fridge. It's fantastic to have with meat, with vegetables. I absolutely love this ingredient. Prepping the fish. Mackerel, run it under the tap and pat it dry. You take your mackerel fillet, you've washed it, passed it dry. I'm just going to show you how to pin bone. So there's bones all the way down the middle, and you just do like a V cut where the bones are. I can hear it cutting through the bones, and just take that V out. There we go. I mean, chances are you might leave a few bones behind, but if you're like me and just cooking for yourself, it doesn't matter. I've got some tweezers. You can probably just do it with your fingers. Tweezers do make life easier. I'm just running my finger along anywhere where I feel where there's a bone. There's one there. There we go. That's it. And then you're going to score the skin. The easiest way to score the skin, rather than sort of struggling while it's flat, is if you just bend it like that, so it's got a curve, and then just flick it through. And I'm scoring it really quite close together. I think that's, what's that, about 1/2 centimetre apart. So I'm just scoring really across there. And then let me finish doing this. You might as well see the whole thing. Bear with. Right. I'm going to season them with salt and pepper on both sides. That's the salt. That's the pepper. In this bowl I prepared earlier, this one is, that's a mixture of lemon juice and just rapeseed oil again. I've used the rapeseed oil again. It's about a teaspoon of lemon juice and a tablespoon of oil. I'm going to use my brush to just brush that on to the mackerel. And now I'm going to use a lined baking tray. 1, 2, and then salt again. Pepper again. And cover with the oil and the lemon. You will then preheat the grill to high. These will cook in about 4 minutes. They won't need long, but they don't go in yet. We're going to finish the pickle first. Okay, just as an aside, if you want to make your mackerel a little bit more interesting, I forgot I made this spice mix a while ago. This is cloves, cumin, fennel, lots of black pepper, and I've actually just sprinkled some of that on here, but it's fine with salt and pepper. This recipe, actually, I think there is a mackerel recipe with fennel and apple on my website, and this mixture, but I will get round to sharing this. Okay. 15 minutes is up. So I'm going to pour on the vinegar with oil and pepper. I'm going to sprinkle in the chopped up ginger. Oh, I've only got tweezers. I'm just going to sort of mix that all up. So that's ready to eat. It will actually be fine for a couple of hours. So I'm going to put the mackerel under the grill when the grill gets to hot for 4 minutes. And then I'm going to prepare my tray for presentation. Presentation's important. So I've actually just laid out 3 little germ lettuce leaves, and I'm going to, you'll see, I'll put the fillet on there. Okay, I'll be back when I've cooked the mackerel. Wow, these look fantastic. Still smoking, still bubbling. For the sake of presentation, I'm just going to serve one. I'll come back and have the other, don't you worry. So I'm going to just place one that's perfectly cooked along the lettuce. I might just do that to the side. I wouldn't normally work with tweezers, it's just they were out. And then I'm going to put my lovely pickle. And that is grilled mackerel with pickled cucumber and ginger. So a happy bank holiday, everyone. Can you see what's behind me? The 2 dogs have eaten. I'm just going to try this now. You can eat the skin because it's crispy. That is, I forget how great mackerel is. You know, it's rich, it's so good for you, it's got so much flavour, and that pickle, I'm a sucker for pickle. It works.